Okay, I've just started recording. So, is the sound good? Can you hear me? If so, let me know. Yeah? Can you hear me? Yeah? Yes. Okay. So the recording, I'm going to put it on my channel on YouTube a bit later on this morning. We've got 5 letters. I might have time for a 6th. We'll see. Now, I don't know if you are taking your exam in January or not. This is mainly for those people who haven't had their letters assessed before. So we'll take a look at it. I mean, if anybody's got any questions, well, if anybody's got any comments or anything, you can I can turn your microphone on now and you can ask a question or make a comment if anybody has. You can either type in the chat box or you can raise your hand and I'll turn your microphone on. Anybody? No? Okay, then. Let's get down to business. Let's do the share. And okay. Can you see this now? Yeah? Can you see the screen? Can you see the letters, the text? Yeah? Okay, good. So let's have a look at this. I'm saving the changes and I'll post this file on EasyClass in the library afterwards. Okay, so we've got a few letters here. Let's have a look. So, Mr. Brendan McCulloch, teacher, there's parents, doesn't drink, unremarkable past, okay, anxiety, motor vehicle accident, okay, 2 right leg, fractures, discharge, blurred vision. We have to refer him to the neuro-ophthalmologist. Okay. Dr. Brendan McCulloch, I'm writing, I would imagine. Writing to a question, your neurological assessment for, neurological assessment of Mr. McCulloch, whose features are suggestive of diplopia, possibly due to cranial nerve defect. Okay. On the 23rd, Mr. McCulloch was admitted into hospital following a motor vehicle accident in which he had a frontal lobe injury, 2 right leg fractures and an oblique fracture in his right femur. Okay. Recovering, making good progress. He was transferred, from which he was discharged. Okay, that's good. Good so far. On today's review, attended the clinic, complaining of eyesight problems, double vision, examination, visual acuity. Good, yeah, that's pretty good. Past medical history. Is the anxiety disorder relevant or pertinent? I'm not sure. I mean, the medicine he might have been taking might be pertinent, but I don't know if the anxiety is pertinent. But it's only a short sentence, so it doesn't make a lot of difference. In view of the above, okay, that's pretty good. Can't argue. Let's see how many words. What do we have? 216. Okay, that isn't bad. That's not bad at all. Excellent work. So, another one. I'm writing to. Okay. Now, I've said this before. If we've got the DOB, do we really need this? And do we need to know that he's a teacher? Maybe if he has some occupation where he may have some kind of trauma, like if you were the boxer, then I imagine that occupation might be pertinent, but a teacher, so we don't really need that. Strictly speaking, we don't really need it. We can work it out. You can include it, but I would be tempted not to do so. Okay, Mr. McCulloch was admitted, simple past, good, sustained 2 right leg fractures, oblique, okay, good. Referred to rehabilitation centre, for which it was okay, pretty good use of grammar there. Good use of passive, past tense, okay. Mr. McCulloch attended my clinic with complaints. Visual changes, visual changes. I don't know about visual changes. I mean, a change, I suppose you mean a negative change, so you'd have to say something, okay. Bilateral blurred and double vision, frequent episodes of headache, okay. The patient denied, now, right, deny. I don't think we should use this because it's a bit strong, and it's usually, if you suspect that somebody is telling a lie, they issue a denial. No, I had no pain. But that's not really how it was. The patient said he didn't have, or he didn't report any pain or trauma, not denied. A denial is when you are accused of something and you say no. So I wouldn't use that. It doesn't mean quite the same thing. Despite wearing glasses, examination reduced restrictive movements of pupils. Okay. Medical history, moderate smoker. Why do we need to note that he's I mean, if he was a heavy smoker, that may be affecting the blood flow, but headaches, Panadol, I don't know. I don't know if we strictly need this. I mean, if your word count was high and you included that, I would be tempted to take it out, but the word count is not bad, so okay, we can let it stand. Now, some people are saying, do we need to include the leg injury? No, it's not strictly speaking pertinent to the neuro-ophthalmologist. It's additional information, but strictly speaking, does the ophthalmologist need to know he broke his leg? Maybe not. Okay, but it's not entirely irrelevant. This is kind of. And concerned Mr. McCulloch's cranial injury. Okay, so apart from that is pretty good. The grammar's good. There's no grammar mistakes I can see. We've got present perfect passive, present perfect passive continuous. So we've got present perfect passive continuous, present perfect passive. That's pretty good. Relative clause, simple past passive. So we've got some good use of grammar in that letter. Excellent. So, Mr. McCulloch, now because we don't have the DOB here, okay, 32-year-old teacher, again, is that pertinent? We'll see. Signs and symptoms consistent with diplopia because up to oh, right. This is a little bit long. Presenting with signs and symptoms consistent with because of after motor vehicle. You could have cut that down, made it a little bit simpler, easier to read. Okay, Mr. McCulloch presented to me 7/7/2018, complaining difficulty with visual ability, delusion by vision. Limited function intact. We know the patient's frontal lobe injury, right leg, right femur fractures, which were occurred. How can your leg fracture occur after your accident? Weren't they caused by the accident? How could they occur afterwards? It should be noted, really, that he had a head injury. Really, you think that should be noted? I wouldn't use that kind of phrase because, yes, that should be noted, and we shouldn't have to say By the way, you should take note that he had a head injury. So the stuff about the legs which were occurred, why do you have this use of passive here? And it didn't occur afterwards. His accident caused this. So that's no good. Don't need that. That's no good. Therefore, the patient was admitted. Really? So he had an accident. Therefore, we don't need this either. Therefore, it should be obvious. We don't need to say, as a consequence of his accident, therefore the patient went to hospital. And then you've got afterwards, and you don't need that dot. You don't need it. Just put Mr. McCulloch. Discharged from that centre, was admitted and was Okay, right. We could have cut this paragraph down, right? It's a bit long. We don't need discourse marker. We don't need a discourse marker beginning every sentence. You could easily have cut this down, put it into a couple of sentences, as in the previous one. Was admitted, okay, after making a recovery, he was referred, he was discharged. That's a lot easier and simpler than all this. We don't need therefore, afterwards, furthermore, moreover, initially, additionally, fortunately. Don't need them. May I further remind you, has a positive history of panic attack. May I further remind you, you should have put that in your paragraph. Medical records for your perusal, greatly appreciated. Why would it be great? Why would you greatly appreciate it? The neuro-ophthalmologist is going to do his job that he's being paid for. He's not, I keep saying this, he's not doing you a personal favor. You don't need to highly appreciate it. You don't need to gratefully appreciate it. He's not doing you a personal favor. He's doing what he's paid to do. You can thank him, but you don't need to grovel. Okay, so that needs to be cut down a little bit confusing, and avoid all these furthermore, additionally, furthermore, fortunately. Don't need those. Let's have a look. How many words have we got? 176. So that's a little bit short, in fact, a little bit short. Okay. What else have we got? Okay. Mr. McCulloch, a teacher, suppose, but does it matter? Provisional damage history. After a history. Why do people keep saying this after a history of motor vehicle accident? It happened once. It happened once. Oh, a couple of people said they have a problem with sound. Well, that's nothing to do with me. Everybody else can hear it fine. So I don't really know what is causing that. Maybe you have to check your settings, make sure you've got the right speakers. Everybody else, I asked at the start, can you hear me? And they said yes. So it must be you. You need to check your settings. Fatima and Galaxy, you need to maybe check your settings and make sure you've chosen your microphone correctly. For example, right, when you come on here, if you can see it, you can select a speaker. Make sure you've got the right speaker. Okay? So, after a motor vehicle accident, don't need that. Greatly appreciated. Well, I'm sure it would, but again, he's not doing you a personal favor. Was admitted to hospital following motor vehicle accident from what? Doesn't make sense. We need an article there, and we don't need that. At that time, he was suffering. At that time, okay. So he had a head injury for which he was managed. We don't have to include that. I would hope he did receive some kind of treatment. If he didn't, it's a pretty shit hospital that didn't give him any kind of treatment. So we don't actually need that. Don't need it. It should be obvious. 5 weeks later, he was transferred to a rehabilitation center, discharged, okay, that's good. Presenter complaining from, complaining of, or complaining about, either of or about, not from. Double blurred vision. No pain or recent trauma were reported. On examination, made that a capital. Visual acuity and movements, reflex was intact. Please note, is suffering or was, is or was. I thought this was in the past. Okay. Okay. Where are we? So we can leave this. Pandol and anxiety. Okay. In view of the above, next further assessment and management, ongoing care. How we appreciate what you've said it. You've said it once already. First, it was greatly, and it's highly. It's not doing you a personal favor. You don't have to keep saying this. Greatly, highly. Okay, 189. That's good. So what do we have here? Mr. McCulloch, video teacher. Okay, again, we can see you don't need it really. Your further assessment will be greatly appreciated. Okay, you know, if you're not going to stand out if you keep using the same phrases and expressions as everybody else. You know, you must get this from some kind of a template because everybody includes it. Everybody. Well, all, most all. The students who get A or who get over 450, they don't. They use something else and show a greater range of vocab. However, Mr. McCulloch, involved, we need a verb, was involved. The motor vehicle accident, which unfortunately caused a frontal lobe head injury. Femur fractures. Don't forget, watch that grammar. Admitted to hospital. As opposed to what? Being left to lie in the street? I suppose he was admitted to hospital. You don't need to state the obvious. Mr. McCulloch was discharged, admitted to a rehabilitation center. Now, this is the American spelling, from which he was discharged after a month of assistance on review today, complaining of difficult vision. Can you have difficult vision? You can have difficulty, make it an adverb of difficulty in seeing. You can make it an adverb, but I won't use it as an adjective. He denied. He didn't say, no, I deny, I had no pain. He didn't say that. He simply said he didn't have any pain. So don't use the wrong verbs. And why do we have very short sentences here? Why do we have very short sentence? Very short sentence. Very short sentence. It looks like case notes if you do that. They want complete sentences. You could have put this into a single sentence or possibly two, right? No need to these 4 very short sentences. And he did not deny. It may say so in the case that it doesn't actually mean that. He said he didn't. A denial is when somebody says or accuses you of something and you say, no, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. Okay, my little diagnosis, diplopia, I'm referring the patient assessment. It would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, because I'm doing you a personal favor. Okay, you've said that once, now you said it twice. Okay, so not too bad. You could get more, But if you keep using the same expressions as everybody else, don't. Ooh, 169, and that's too short anyway. Too short, too short. 169, you'll be going down at 169. That's not so good. Okay, what's the next one? Mr. X, eh? Why haven't you typed out his name? For teacher, demonstrating features, for comparisons. What's these clauses? Why do we have what? 1, 2, 3, 4 clauses in a single sentence? Eh? Why? We don't need 4 clauses in a single sentence. That needs rewording. I'm writing to refer for comprehensive evaluation, Mr. X. Who is, and then make that a relative clause, right? So I would be tempted, right, to, oops, put that there, right. Put that there, yeah. And then for your teacher, and then I would tempted to get rid of that. We don't really need that. And then make it a relative clause. Mr. X, blah, 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 who is demonstrating features. Okay, now that's how I would do that. Okay. Mr. McCulloch had a motor vehicle accident, resulted, which, don't forget. Now, either, right, this needs to be either which resulted or resulting. So we either need a relative pronoun, right, which resulted, or we need to make it a continuous verb. Resulting in, yeah, so either one of those. In a head injury in the frontal, or head injury to the frontal lobe of his brain, CT scan of the brain. Well, what else do you usually take a CT scan of? His dick? No, usually his brain. So we don't really need the obvious. His CT scan shows several cerebral, right, several, so that's more than one. So this should therefore be a plural. Accordingly, subsequently, he had rehabilitation. What's this very short sentence? 4-word sentence. Currently under supervision of community rehabilitation at home. Well, that could be reworked, I think. The date of a letter, well, there's a date there, isn't there? So, oh dear. Sorry, that could be reworked. Today, Mr. McCulloch presented with blurred double vision without any pain in his eyes. Yeah, you see, instead of he denied the pain, I deny pain, I have no pain, you could simply say without any pain. Okay, good. Regular headaches, which he treats, and he thought he might have, oh dear. What? So, he thought he might has had, and what's that supposed to mean? Which he treat, and he suspected, or he thought, or that's a bit awkward. He thought he might has had. Well, first, it should be had. Visual difficulty due to anxiety. I don't know. He also complained of regular headaches, which he treats with Panadol, and visual difficulty, which he attributed to anxiety. So instead of saying he thought he might has had, which is a bit awkward, and visual difficulty, which he attributed, in other words, which he thought was due to anxiety. That's a little better than saying he thought he might has had. However, okay. Regards medical history, substance disorder. Yeah, good. Present perfect. Very good. Since, use of adverb. Smoking 10. Do we need that? Do we need that really about smoking cigarettes? Okay. Okay. Greatly appreciated. Again. But apart from that, not so bad. Let's have a look. 193. Good. So watch the grammar. There's a couple of points here. Okay, so either which resulted, relative pronoun, or present continuous resulting in. In, change it to, direction or purpose. Several, more than one, so contusions as a noun should be plural because it's a countable noun. Okay, bit awkward. He thought, he might, has, had. Rephrase it, make it relative clause, which he attributed to. And I don't know if we need that. Okay, not so bad, not so bad, not so bad. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up to questions. I've got a bit of time. 10 minutes, maybe, and when I'm off, I've got other things to do. Students to take care of, lessons, etc. So I'll save this and I'll post it in Easy Class. And does anybody want to ask any questions? Anybody got any questions? I'll turn your microphone on. You just raise your hand, I'll turn your microphone on. Anybody got any questions? You just raise your hand, I'll turn your microphone on. Anybody? No. So I'll stop this then. I'll stop the screen share. I'll stop the recording if nobody's got any questions. So I'll post this, these corrected letters in the classroom on Easy Class. I'll put the video on the channel on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, and you can access these anytime. And I'll put a link to it in Easy Class and on Telegram also. So I don't know when I'll be free again, possibly tomorrow morning. We'll see, maybe on Thursday. So don't forget, if you're taking the exam in January, put your name on the sign-up sheet on Google Docs so we can see how many people are taking it. I looked this morning, it was about 20 people, so maybe there's more people now. So let us know by signing in on Google Docs. Join easyclass.com. The library for the class contains the letters we will be doing, well, or will contain the letters we will be doing. And it's got a big archive of corrected letters from the last month or two. So, you know, you can take a look at those. You can download those. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel on YouTube. I've also got a Facebook page. You'll find me on Twitter and Pinterest. I'm going to be posting these things everywhere. So Google Docs, Easy Class. What else? What else? Check the library. Check the video, which I'll be sharing on YouTube shortly. And that's about it. So I'll probably see you later. Maybe tomorrow, we'll see. Depends on what lessons I've got. I'll check my schedule. So I'll see you later. I'm going to stop this now, and I'll be in Telegram for a while. Okay.